The other railway had set up a new goods service heading onto the island of Sodor. It was to happen in the dead of night, when hardly any other engine was around. The engine they had gotten to head up this train was Reginald. You might remember him as the engine Duck and Gordon argued with about London stations. Regardless, Reginald deeply despised his new role. A goods train? In the countryside on that island? Can it get any worse? Fergus overheard this comment and was offended. I'll have you know that the island of Sodor is a beautiful place for engines who can appreciate life. And what would you know? You hardly have a life, retorted Reginald. A small traction engine like you can't possibly have of much use. He's right, you know, added Vincent. I went there last Christmas. The folks there are lovely, and the sights are like a painting. Fergus smirked. You wouldn't be afraid, would you be? Afraid? What would I have to be afraid about? Flounced Reginald. Oh, you know, it's the quiet countryside. I sometimes have to do work at night out there. It's eerie. You better take care, warned Fergus. What rubbish! Scoffed Reginald. You're just an old geezer. Those night trains have cracked you then. Reginald snorted away. Vincent and Fergus just smirked. That night, Reginald crossed the bridge onto the island of Sodor. A spring drizzle clung to the air. Reginald's run through the countryside went uneventfully. He arrived at Edward Station and shunted off some trucks. Not only a goods train, but also shunting in the rain. What else can possibly go wrong? Reginald looked around. The yard was silent. All he could hear was the quiet patter of the falling rain. His driver and fireman walked over to the station, leaving Reginald quite alone in an eerie silence. It wasn't long until he heard another sound. What was that? From far away, he heard the labored chuffing of an engine. An eerie whistle blew through the falling rain. As soon as the coupling was fastened, Reginald tore out of the station. As he went out of yard limits, he passed another engine and shut his eyes tightly. No, please! Reginald was frantic. He shot through the countryside, coming closer and closer to Thomas's junction. There sat Percy unloading the mail. Whoa, boy, called the driver. Reginald opened his eyes and slammed on the brakes. Percy was rocked by a big jolt. The men ran to see what the commotion was about. Reginald's driver checked him all over as the men checked the mail. Percy was furious, and Reginald could only wish. When he arrived at the end of the line, Reginald scuttled into the sheds. The next morning, he woke up to find the other engines looking at him. Percy told us about an incident that happened at the junction last night. Are you okay? Asked Edward. Yes, Reginald huffed, putting on a fake smirk. Never been better. Right. Before Reginald could retort, he heard a sound that made his boiler run cold. Oh no, it's come back for me. What's come for you? Huh? You tricked me. Oh yeah? How did I do that? Laughed Fergus. You told me some phony story about the railway being haunted. The other engines burst out laughing. Reginald glared at them through gritted teeth. He decided to leave and find something to do. Reginald thought long and hard about the countryside, traction engines, and ghosts for the rest of the day.